Mr. Speaker, I rise today to address the nation's #1 anti-poverty program for the elderly and the #1 anti-poverty program for children. That program is Social Security. Yet, Mr. Speaker, I think, as you know, imagine Congress has not addressed or enhanced Social Security in more than 54 years. Richard Nixon was President of the United States the last time that Congress enhanced Social Security. I'm sure it's of interest to some of our listeners here today that the #1 insurance program for the nation, who relies on their government to make sure that it passes on to them the savings that they have paid for. This is no entitlement. All one has to do is go to their pay stub where it says FICA, Federal Insurance Contribution. Whose? Yours. And yet your Congress hasn't acted on it, but we want to give that opportunity to everyone to act on it. What's especially alarming, Mr. Speaker, is now Mr. Musk, an unelected official who operates outside of government, who doesn't need to be approved by the Senate, who is neither a federal employee or a volunteer, but has the ear of the President of the United States and can get all the statistics and data that he wants, and currently is going after Social Security data. I commend the federal employees who have stood up to this illegal act and refused, in an effort to protect American citizens' valuable information and, most importantly, their privacy. Mr. Speaker, as you know, you have 115,000 Social Security recipients in your district. 86,000 are retirees. 10,000 are disabled workers who rely on this money. 5,486 widows, 2,600,000 spouses, 8,613 children. Your district gets on a monthly basis $197 million. And where do they spend that? Right back in your district. Nobody gets wealthy on Social Security. It's the safety net for capitalism. That's what Roosevelt intended it to be. It's long overdue that we have a vote in the United States Congress to enhance Social Security benefits for all Americans. 10,000 baby boomers a day become eligible for Social Security. More than 70 million people get Social Security. And now Mr. Musk and Mr. Trump are out to cut those benefits. Ask your constituents where those cuts are going to come from, Mr. Speaker. Are they ready to say, with the money that they receive, that they ought to make cuts in something that was widely debunked last week? President Trump made the most outlandish claim that Social Security is contributing money to people supposedly 150 years old. This was widely debunked as false and untrue, but it's the kind of thing that you see in dictatorships or at the start of fascism, when all of a sudden people make outlandish claims that are untrue with regard to the nation's #1 insurance program for the elderly and our children, something Congress hasn't enhanced in more than 54 years. The public ought to be demanding a vote of its members. Do not let any member of Congress not stand up and tell you where they stand.
The gentleman's
on
time
your
has expired.
benefits. I thank you and yield back.